jurisprudence that it is connected to the most important and basic ideas, notions, principles. Yeah. Okay. Now you can hear me. So sorry. Well, I will repeat. Well, for me, is a good day, this one, because we will begin a journey to understand better the first notions, the first principles and values and aims of the law. So it is more or less, I don't know if you realize, more or less like the first layers, the first rings of a wood, as you can see here. You can see here, well, that there is a nucleus, a central part, and then another layers, another rings. Year by year, you will grow, you will develop your knowledge, but it's so important, the first one. And in jurisprudence, you will see the first layers of your knowledge. After that, subject and another subject and another subject, and then in your career, you will create more knowledge, your intelligence, but it's so important to have the first one very, very, very clear, very neat. So in this way, all the other things will be accommodated very well. There is a break, as you can see here. There will be a break in your life. There is a break at the very beginning. So, welcome to my lecture of human rights. Next week I will see in person. You will be my first undergraduate student in person here in Kenya. So I really appreciate that. So here is also with Adrian. Adrian will be my graduate assistant. He's admitting people now. So if there is any question, you can email me with any problem, but also you can ask anything that you require to Adrian. So that is good. There are people in the waiting room, by the way, Adrian. Okay. So today we will see first how the course is arranged, and second, well, the first notion about ethics, morality, the law, the legal system, more or less. And principally, with all these notions, if there is can be any relation between everything that we will see today. So probably you know more or less what is ethics, morality, the law, the legal system, and you have at least one idea of how they can be connected. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what is ethics and what is morality. So that is the first question that I will ask. What is ethics? What is morality? By the way, this is a subject to think, principally to think. I will mention many things, but the most important thing is try to think about these theories, and that's why I will ask many things. So I expect, well, don't worry if you don't say things with a lot of precision. Don't worry if you do mistakes. No, it's important to try. So what is ethics? What is morality? That will be the first question. Yes, Abigail.
I'm not.
But I think ethics are the moral principles that guide an individual's conduct.
So the moral principles that guide and both are the same, ethics and morality.
No, I don't think so.
What is the difference?
I think morality is the ability to distinguish between right and wrong, and ethics are the principles that allow you to distinguish between right and wrong, or something like that.
Something like that. So, but the ability to distinguish based on the principles provided by. Okay, another one wants to try. What is morality? What is ethics? There is an identification or not. That is quite interesting. What do you think? I don't know. Annie. Are you there? Anne.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so what do you think?
I agree with Abigail. I think ethics are the principles that guide us with regards to what is morally right or what is morally wrong. And then morality is now us deciding what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah. Did you learn that in another subject?
Yes, we did it in ethics.
Perfect, perfect. Well, let's try to think. More or less, normally people used to say that, no? Morality is more personal, is the things that I think about what is good and what is wrong. Yeah, and probably is right. But an ethics is more principles. Well, yes, probably is more objective, is more scientific or more, I don't know, because there are code of ethics code, for example, of some association, the bar association, or of the association, the American Psychological Association, APA, is very famous now with their codes of ethics. Okay, but let's ask a little deeper this question. No? What are the principles? The principles are based that we receive, the moral or ethical principles. What kind of principles? Where you can find that principles? On society. Think about what kind of guides do I have? Yes, Shem.
I think morality comes from natural law or is guided by principles of natural law. And then now the principles of morality go ahead and guide ethical principles.
Yeah, and what is natural law?
To my understanding, I think it's like your conscience, because it's sort of, it's natural. So it comes, yeah, it's intrinsic. It comes with you. You're born with it. So I'd say your conscience.
This is your conscience. Well, but remember that every evil person also have conscience, no? For example, a serial killer, many times they say, no, I have to kill all of them. Why? Because my conscience say that I have to kill many people because everyone is bad in this world. A serial killer. Normally they have also conscience, but not a good conscience. Is that natural law? What do you think, Shem?
Maybe I haven't put it correctly, if that's the case. But all these principles are informed by the decisions that people make. I think. No, I'm speaking about okay, I've lacked words. Once I collect my thoughts, I'll communicate them.
Okay, no, but it's good to think, to try, because in this way, the knowledge will be deeper and will be your knowledge, no, the things that you learned in one class or in one lecture. Now, that is quite interesting. But where we find that principles? Well, Shen tried to say, well, in my conscience, but conscience many times are not so, but there is a possibility. The principle of what is good and what is wrong, the right and bad things, where we can, yes. Dijana brought.
Those principles come from nature, so natural law is the law of God.
The law of God. So you see your nature, and where I find any principle? I don't find here. Let me see in my pocket. No, there is no principle. Where do you find? Tell me one principle at least, and tell me where do you find that principle?
One principle, for instance, to do good and avoid evil.
Where do you find that?
Now that I'm not sure.
Okay, Dalton.
Find that in reason.
In reason, every principle is reasonable. Well, very good. But just in reason or not? So today there are many philosophers. You will see, we will see from the next week, a lot of philosophers that say, well, everything is just here. Kant, the Kantian approach. So there is no connection for human nature. So the morality will be the same for angels, for God, and for human beings. There is no connection with our body. That will be a morality just based on reason, an angelic morality. What is the connection with our body, with our nature? Shem said that wrote also with our nature, but what is our nature? So what do you think, Dalton? What is the point of connection?
I'm not sure I can answer past that, but I think reason is given in our nature, so it's sort of an inherent connection.
Yeah, well, any other possibility where we can find principles? Someone's told, well, in God, but I don't know, probably it's good to talk with God every day. I try to do that, at least some minutes, to ask what he wants. Normally you will hear, but many times it's not so clear what God asks us. Probably if you follow one religion, you will have one book, no? Quran, Vedas, Bible, and many others. There are many others according to each religion. So at the end of the day, morality is based on religion or not. Well, I'm very happy because you are the first course that never answered a thing that for other people is normal. No, morality and ethics are based on the rules of society, what society wants. I'm so happy that you never answered that. Normally, people used to say, no, it's the values of society or the values that, I don't know, Western countries impose to us, or the principle that I don't know, this evil society imposed to myself, and I really want to do another thing. No? I really want to, I don't know, for example, there's a principle, you have to eat with moderation. No? So I really want to eat a lot of gelatos is in Italian, ice cream, and a lot of hamburgers and cuckoo, many other things. No, but there is a rule that I have to eat and drink with moderation. So what a pity, there is a rule. There is so, or I really want to, I don't know, do many things. No, as the phrase says, sex, rock, and drugs and rock and roll. Yeah, that I want to be in my life. Obviously, but what a pity. There is a lot of principles, value society asks me for. So I cannot do whatever I really want. I cannot do what I really want. So at the end of the day, morality is something that falls from heaven, God, or falls from society, or falls from a religion. Evil or good society, evil or good religion, evil or good God. But I have to fulfill because this is my fate. That is the thing that I have to do, but I really want another thing. That is an evil point of morality. That is a positivistic approach to morality. A positivistic, no. There is a positive rule imposed by the American Association of Psychology that I'm, as a psychologist, I have to follow because I'm in that association. But I really want another thing. So that is why it's so important to ask, where are those principles? Where are those principles that we were talking about? No? Well, any other idea you want to add? Well, where are those principles? Many people, some of you know, well, we propose a plan, obviously, and we impose to ourselves. It was more or less one of the answers, more or less, not exactly. So we manage the principle, no? We manage, we control ethics. We control ethics, and so it's rational, and I organize all of them. And many people used to organize very well for one purpose, no? To manage well, say, well, in this society you have to do that, for example, because I'm the authority and I can regulate those principles. So in this way, I will obtain some benefits, money. There are many people that think in that way. Well, what is ethics? What is the principle of ethics? Well, it doesn't matter what the books say. It doesn't matter what society says. What really matters is what I say, my will. So this is also a Kantian approach, no? So I will organize everything in such a way that I will obtain benefits. And if for me, the robbery is good because I will achieve a lot of money and welfare, and for me, well, that is good, no? And many people is incredible that say, well this guy was in that work, and after 5 years they have a house and they have his family has a lot of things. But you have to admire people not because they have money, but because they work well, they work hard, they give many things to society, and probably that's why he developed also his own properties and things. That is once again not the fundamental, the ground, the way to ground principles about ethics. Yeah, it's related to conscience. Many of you talk about natural law. And what is natural law? Something reasonable, but it's not just reason. It's not just reason, because you can find on society many people that think quite different. For some serial killer, they say, no, my reason, my conscience, the thing that I understand is that I have to kill 2,000 people, even if I die in a collusion against the Twin Towers in New York. They have one reason to do that. They have, so it's not just reason. So what will be the yes, perfect. Emmanuel.
I think natural law would be, well, according to your explanation, I think the natural law is right reason in agreement with nature.
Okay, try to develop a little more. You are in a good direction.
I think that's where the
But you're good. Try to think. Try to think. Let's do a little effort.
Okay. I think that's where the connection lies between what you are saying. If morality can't be the same for angels and humans, it has to be connected to the human body and soul. And I think that's where reason connects to humanity, because in the human nature is body and soul, which is different, I think, from the angels, like the nature of the angels. So I think then the reason in that case should be in agreement with human nature, not just any nature.
Yeah, well, we will develop here, don't worry. But no, it's okay, but it's good to try to think. So I will explain the classical ethics, Nicomachean ethics, that is not something oppressive. It's something that helps us to develop ourselves, to develop our humanity, to develop all of our possibilities to reach, well, the stars, to reach the moon also, to reach very higher goals in our life. And that is not an oppressive ethics, no? Many people believes that there is an ethic, I will say, sorry, an ethic of slaves, that just you have to fulfill that because someone is exposing you that, and I have to fulfill that. This is another quite different ethics. This is ethics for free people, for freedom, but freedom with meaning, freedom for something. That is quite important. No, it's not just freedom because I can do everything, so let's smoke, let's have sex, drugs, rock and roll, eat, drink, because tomorrow we will die. No. It's ethics to to develop as much as you can yourself. For example, well, many people say, well, it's good to have to take some drugs, to smoke marijuana and many other things, cannabis. Yeah, and probably it will give you some level of happiness, But if you see, not just one day, that you will be so happy, you will be so high, but you see the whole life of that individual. Drugs create an addiction higher and higher and higher, and they need to buy more and more and more. So normally people that have no money will even commit some crimes to get these kind of things, and they will have a lot of problems in their brain. Yeah, because these kind of things, little by little, or some of them immediately destroy many things inside of us, and not only our body but also our virtues. I mean, it's an addiction that you cannot escape. Yeah, you cannot escape. So if you see, I have many friends, very close friends, that have these kind of things, and I know very well these lives. And I will say, yes, one day will give you a lot of happiness, but in your whole life is not so much, because your family will suffer, and you will not be able to work as hard as other people, so you will don't have at the end of the day many things, no, love and many other things. But obviously you will have someone, at least your mother, but your children, there will be many problems. I know my friends, at least I know my friends, and I see that this is not the best way to achieve the highest, the greatest happiness that we can achieve. So that's why they say, well, obviously you can have, for example, sex with whatever you want, which whoever you want, but it's better to create a project with one person and to create a strong family. There you will find more things than just passion. You will find in your whole life more things, more happiness, more deepest happiness. That's why that is the science of ethics. Ethics is the science of happiness. Ethics is the science of happiness. How to get the highest happiness possible. And morality is ethics applied to our life. So we study ethics, but we have to understand what, well, in my case, what made me happy. And not, obviously, you can say, well, a bottle of whiskey. Yes, probably, but this is not the highest happiness, that one, obviously, you know. Many people used to drink just because they are so sad. To drown the sadness in alcoholic drinks. Well, that is not the best happiness that we can achieve. That is quite interesting. That for me is happiness of free people with purpose, with meaning. It's not just I want to do whatever I want and I will. No, it's with meaning. And that is so important, to put meaning to our freedom. So many moralist philosophers used to say, it's important to create a project of life. What do you want? And that's why you will understand. If you want to become lawyers, good lawyers, not bad one, good lawyers with very interesting cases and to win money also, but to help to create justice in this country, that is so good. but you have to study, and to study you have to be on time on lectures and you have to finish a lot of quizzes and to write an essay. But there are two kind of students. No, one that will say, no, I will just to approve, and another will realize, no, I want to get the knowledge here. I want to get the skills of how to write. I want to. It doesn't matter how many marks. No, probably it's important to approve. But at the end of the day, the marks is not the most important part. The most important part is to get the skills. And to get the skills, you need time, you need to work. That is quite interesting and more challenging for achieve greatest happiness. Okay, so let's continue with this. How to connect those principles, those ideas, happiness with human nature. Well, let's see human nature. Let's see human nature. No, this guy, this guy. There are many authors that talk about ethics. As I told you, Aristotle, Aquinas, Navarro, Heine, and many others. Finnish also. They say more or less is this the science of happiness. The science of happiness. So, if there is a science, there should be something that is common. It means that all of us should share the same happiness. Why? Because if each person has her own happiness, what will happen? That there is no possible science, there is no common principles, there is no common values and everything, no? So that is important. There should be something that is common for everyone, for you, Adi, Amina, to Ali, and to everyone. So my question here, do we share the same happiness or not? The things that makes you happy are the same that the things that make happy another person? What do you think about this question? Do we share the same happiness? Yes or no? And why? Yes, Shem.
I think at the beginning, everyone has different things that make them happy. So at the beginning, we don't share the same happiness. However, because of the different relationships or bonds formed within society, like friendships or families, because you're seeking the good or the happiness of the people around you, at the end of the day, if we're seeking ultimate happiness, then we all share the same happiness.
Okay, but what is the ultimate happiness?
I think happiness in its objective form, where your happiness does not hinder the freedoms or the happiness of another person.
Yeah, well, it's very abstract. Try to be more specific. Any other one to answer? Do we share the same happiness? Yes or no? The happiness of Kerry is the same happiness of Florence or no? Yes. Useful, yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Useful,
So,
yes. Hi,
yeah,
how are you?
And so in ethics, we learned that happiness is the result of achieving man's good. So I guess in that sense, happiness is the same for everyone because we all have to achieve the same good.
Yeah, but are you sure you are studying law and you are not studying another career. So the good is different. Also, it's a good medicine, no? To study medicine. Abigail, yes.
I think I agree with Naeem, but I'll differ a bit and say that we achieve happiness when you achieve your ultimate end. So like you're saying, for example, there's a law student and there's a medical student. Our happiness is the same in that our ultimate end is to get our degrees. So in that way, man has the same happiness because we all have the same ultimate end. It's just that the general objective of the idea of the end is the same, but now when it comes down to a more subjective level, that's when it becomes different. For someone, it could be a degree. For someone else, it could be to become a parent, to start a business. But at the end of the day, the objective of man's happiness is to achieve the ultimate end.
Yeah, but what with the example that you gave me, some people will never go to university. So for them, the ultimate aim is not to get one title. You told me no, the ultimate aim is to get that title. But for many people, it's not to get any title. So what is the ultimate aim?
I think the ultimate end for someone, okay, I think then from that point of view, I would say the ultimate end is to achieve fulfillment. See, like for me as a law student, to achieve fulfillment would be to get a degree. For someone who doesn't see university in their future, to achieve their ultimate end might be, for example, to start a family. So as long as you have achieved fulfillment in your life, what makes you feel fulfilled in your life as an individual, that becomes your ultimate end and it becomes your objective to happiness, I would say.
Yeah, but I understand your point, but think that ultimate, I mean, that fulfillment is the more or less the same notion of happiness. So you are saying, well, each one has his own happiness. You never say happiness, but fulfillment. Each one has his way of fulfillment. Yeah, I don't know if you realize. Just well, for some people.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
So fulfillment is happiness. So you are yes, Malaika.
Could you say that man's ultimate end is happiness? And that's what we all share in common.
Well, you see, there are many things that make me happy. So I really love ice cream and I really love chocolates. And both things give me a lot of happiness, at least to myself.
Yeah, but like happiness in the sense
it's not just
like what Abby
the
was
ultimate
saying.
aim. It's not just the ultimate aim.
Okay.
Things that obviously ice cream and chocolates are not my highest happiness. I'm more happy here in this lecture than eating ice cream. Okay. So don't you see, for sure you will remember something about the ultimate aim, but let's try to think about in easy terms, not in technical terms, in easy terms. I will put the same question, but in negative. I will put exactly the same question, but in negative. What are the possibilities of happiness? What things are not part of our happiness? What things are not part of our happiness could be part of the happiness of another nature, not human nature? This is the same question, but in negative. Is the opposite, but the same. I don't know. I understand that it's very abstract, the question. What are not part of our happiness? I will put an example. Is part of my happiness to open my arms? and move my arms as a bird and fly away. I don't know, flying over that river, over that mountains, beautiful mountains of Samburu, over that elephants. With time, I will get the North Pole, and I will be in a very huge ice, an iceberg, and I will see how the sun falls so slowly during 3 months, because in the North Pole is very slow, the sunset, and how the sky loses its colors, no? Little by little becomes red, pink, dark. Is that part of my happiness or not? What do you think? Is that part of my happiness, to fly like a bird with my arms, or not in a plane? Yes, Dalton.
No, it's not.
Why? Why?
Because you have a different nature.
Yeah, I have
a different nature.
I have no wings. I have no wings. It's not part of my happiness to cave, to dig under the earth, and to bury myself 1 meter behind the earth, and to live there 1 year, trying to find carrots. One animal used to do that, and is the blind naked mole, a little rat, a little mice that used to live there without oxygen and trying to find carrots. Obviously, that is not part of my happiness. Why? Because under the earth, I cannot breathe, and I will die immediately. That is not part of my happiness. I have not that nature. For a blind, naked mole, this rat, this little mice, is part of the nature, and that mice will be so happy eating carrots, big carrots, huge carrots, under the earth. But that is not part of our happiness. What are our possibilities of happiness? Well, let's see human nature. You can see here in front of you. So we have some potencies or powers. What is potencies of powers? Powers, potencies are possibilities to do something. What are the human possibilities? Well, we have the superior potencies, the intelligence to understand things, to know things. That is one possibility that we can have, or will, to love, or to decide, or to choose many things. But we have also inferior potencies, and they are internal, as the memory. We can remember things. We can remember great stories of our lives, and it will make us happy. Remember in the day, I don't know, that we celebrate, or I don't know, our last birthday. There was a party, there was no coronavirus. What a happy moment, or with our imagination, I will be a great lawyer in this. It makes us happy, but there is also an external potencies, smell, taste, touch, vision, hear, and so on. And this is quite important, because all of them give you some possibilities and some kind of happiness. To eat an ice cream, little by little, to eat chocolates, sweets, many other things, but it will give you happiness. Not a huge happiness, not an eternal happiness, but a little, at least a little. Okay? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Perfect. So the next question on ethics on the science, I mean that the next question in Aristotle, in Aquinas, in Finis, in many, well, Finis is not so clear that, but in Abba and in many others is, well, let's see if all the levels of happiness of each potency are the same or not, are more or less the same, or there is a rank, a hierarchy. So, what do you think? There is a hierarchy, or all of them are more or less the same? It is relative. Abigail, do you want to say something?
Yes, I have a question about the last question that you just asked. I think I got lost a bit.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, we have said that man does share the same happiness.
Well, in conclusion, well, we have the same possibilities, the same power, the same nature, okay? And each potency will give you to every human being more or less this, in general, the same possibilities. It is not our possibilities to fly as birds, okay? Because we don't have arms to fly. And that is not part of our happiness. But what is our possibilities of happiness? The possibilities of our potencies, the superior and inferior, the internal or external. There are some others, no? but these are the most important. Okay?
Okay, yes, thank you.
Perfect. So if we share the same nature, we share the same happiness in general. Obviously, we can specify, for example, intelligence. We can expect, you will learn, because you prefer that, law and the other medicine, and the other will develop how to be a good mother in her home. Okay. Blessing, yes.
Hi, sorry to take you back, but when you're describing what doesn't form part of our happiness, you said it's things that we can't do naturally, that don't naturally occur. And if we're using the understanding that happiness is fulfillment, and we see every day that people try to define nature by, let's say, Jeff Bezos, who went to space the other day and came back, and he once thought it was impossible, and he was fulfilled by that act, then how can we now say that if it's not natural, then it won't give us happiness?
Yeah.
I hope my question is.
Yeah, I think that fulfillment of what? Fulfillment of our possibilities, fulfillment of our potencies, fulfillment of the sense of smell, taste, touch, vision, hear, and etc. Memory, imagination, and the bodily potencies, powers that we have, fulfillment of our intelligence, fulfillment of our will. So in this way, you connect nature with fulfillment, with happiness, okay?
Okay.
Okay. That are the possibilities. We don't have more possibilities. That is our nature. Okay. So my question now was if there is a rank, there is a hierarchy, or all of them are equal. For example, in the external potencies, it depends. Well, I prefer to eat than to read, or to hear than to touch, or there is a rank. What do you think? Blessing, yes. Or you have?
Sorry, no, I left my hand up by mistake.
Yeah, okay. But what do you think? Can be there any, yeah. Rene? Multicolor.
Yes, I think that there are different ranks of happiness. I don't think they're all the same.
Perfect.
And I don't think all potencies can give you all the same levels of happiness.
Okay, at the external level, which is the most important?
Pardon?
At the there are inferior potencies and external. Which one is the most important? Smell, taste, touch, vision, or hear?
Okay, I think I will say either vision or hearing.
And why?
Okay, I'm not so sure because okay, taste is more of in relation to eating and things like that. And you know, eating can only give you a certain level of fulfillment or a certain level of happiness. The same as smell. I think when you see and you can hear things, for example, you can see your environment, you can listen to various things that inspire you or empower you. I think that gives you more fulfillment than just maybe
Very
eating and
good.
touching something.
Very good. You didn't use any technical word, but you got the answer. Very good. So normally people say that the king of the senses is vision. Vision is the king of the senses. Why? Because you can get more. So with the taste, for example, what kind of things we can understand or have? There are things that you put in your tongue here. So very close, no? Children, when they were born, well, try to touch everything with the tongue. It's incredible to understand things. But obviously, with the smell, you can get access to things that are more close, no? More or less some meters close, not just here, no? With the touch, just the thing that we can touch 1 meter, but just 1 meter. But with here, we can get hear people that are very far, no? We can hear the thunder that is kilometers away. So many things. But with vision, we can get the stars. We can get heaven, the stars, the moon, you can get. That's why the technical word is openness. Is more open. There we have many senses, but some of them are more open to get more parts of reality, to get many things. More open are memory, imagination, and the common sense are more open. They can get everything of the external, but inside are more open. No? And even more are the intelligence and the will. The intelligence and the will. The intelligence and the will can get everything, no? Smell, taste, touch, vision, hear, memory, imagination, common sense. Cogitative is another, and many others. But deeper, they will add something. And the big question, so if there is a rank here in the potencies, there is a rank of happiness. So the higher one will give you more because are more open to reality, and you can have also at least chocolates in your intelligence and ice cream, but many other things, you know. So the big question is, which one will give you the highest happiness, intelligence or the will? That is a classical question on ethics. A classical question. Aristotle will answer one thing and some others other. What do you think? What is the highest potency, the highest level of happiness that you can achieve related to the intelligence or to the will? Yes.
I'd like to try, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, for sure. No, but by the way, here is nobody is sure.
I think it's the intelligence that gives you more happiness. Because your intelligence will inform your will. Your will can't know. So with your intelligence, you can reason, you can know different things, and then now it will inform your will, which will allow you to carry out probably what your intelligence tells you to carry out.
Yeah, okay. Well, you are following more or less Aristotle. Very good. Any other answer? What do you think? The intelligence or the will? For example, Emmanuel, what do you think? What gives you more happiness? The intelligence of the or the will? Are you there? Gacheru. We lost Emmanuel. Well, but try to think. What will give you, could give you more happiness, the intelligence or the will? I don't know if you yes, Shem.
I agree with Renee. I'm also thinking about the alternative, which is where the will gives you more happiness. Maybe this is because for some people, it is more important that they have the ability to do these things that, to do the things they want. Yeah.
If you, well, yeah, it's the same answer more or less of Aquinas. But I will give you a clue if you are Christian, only. There is a commandment, 10 commandments. And the first one is the most important. What the first commandment says? To love. To love is the first duty in our lives. Probably many religions will share the same idea. To love is the most important thing in our life. Aquinas, following Aristotle, will say yes, the intelligence is the most important because you get more. But if we love God, it's quite different. That will be better. If we love I don't know, an ice cream, not, because you are reducing yourself with a little thing. And for me, it's quite clever. It is related. There is a way to discover God in one philosopher. It's quite difficult. I will explain just a little. Don't worry if you don't understand. Don't worry, because it's too technical, and I will never ask in any quiz this. But I think that is interesting to understand. No? Leonardo Polo, a Spanish philosopher, said that we can discover God by the will. The proof of the existence of God using the will. No? And the proof is this. So don't worry if you don't understand. Don't worry. I will give just 1 minute this. No? So he said, if the will, the potency, the power of the will is for something more than to choose between a whiskey or a rum or another kind of drink, no, God should exist. That is the proof. So he was in front of many philosophers, and all of them stood up and clap to clap, because it was so clever, you know? And for sure, if you understood the argument, you are clapping now to me. If not, don't worry. Why he said that? I will try to explain just because the will is more open. In heaven, we will not understand God. We will know more than here, because we will see God, but we will not understand the whole God. We need for that the intelligence of a God. But with the will, we will love the infinite, the infinite. The intelligence is open, but just get some particular things, some specific things. The only potency that we have open to the infinite is our will. So that's why if the will, if for something more than to choose between a whiskey or a rum or any little thing of this world, the infinite should exist. That is the is the conclusion. Well, if you understand that, perfect. If not, don't worry about that. But it's just to show that the will is more open, and it, because that love, and not love to any creature, as Aquinas said, but love to God is more to the infinite. Well, it is probably our ultimate end. Our ultimate end. Why? Because it brings us more happiness. That is not, and the intelligence the same. No, it's not to know that 2 + 2 is 4. Is to know the deepest thing in this cosmos, the deepest things of people, and the deepest things of God. That is a challenge in this life, no? And this will give more happiness, but also to love, no? I think that you can see in your family who are really happy in your family, and you will realize the people that really love, not the people that have many material things, no? And many times you realize that if they don't love, they have no deep happiness, no? So in this way, you understand that this is related to human nature, no? Greece said, well, the ultimate aim is related to intelligence. This is Aristotle, no? As I told you, is related to intelligence. But a happy life probably is a composition of everything, of smell, taste. Obviously, there could be one that could miss, no? I cannot hear very well, but I have a lot of knowledge, and so that is a human happiness. On the other hand, you can never miss the intelligence, that because that will be not properly a human happiness. For example, there are people that drink alcohol a lot, no? They are addicted to alcoholic drinks, and they are always drunk, always. No, they have no will, they have no intelligence, they move like zombies, and the next day they will realize what they did the last night. But that is a happiness of an animal, no? They have well, a kind of happiness in the external, no, in the smell, taste, touch, vision. They feel so good, so good, but without intelligence and without will. That is happiness. Yes, it's happiness of one night, but an animal happiness. That is not a human happiness. Okay, and obviously, if you see a life, a whole life, well, probably it's not that much. So that is why it's so important to connect the principles with human nature, no? So the ethics, morality is an order. It's an order of many actions that we can have, no? There could be, as we see, well, what we can do: to swim, to take photos, to smoke, to have dogs, to do some exercise, to sleep, many things, no? But what morality do, what ethics do, they organize all of them. They organize to achieve our highest happiness possible. So it means, obviously, an end. Why? because there is no order without aim. This is a philosophical phrase that is an axiom. There is no moral order without aim. There is no possible order in this life without a specific aim. Think about the seats of a classroom. Are they organized or not? Well, all of them are seen. The professor, they are organized because the aim of the classroom is to hear what the professor is teaching, not other things, no? But if the aim is quite different, it's not to hear the professor. If the aim is to talk together, probably that is not the best order and is not well organized. You should change the arrangement, the organization of the seats, and to put probably in a kind of circle. In this way, everyone will see each other and they can talk easily. The aim change, the order change. Okay? Change. So that's why if moral order is an order, there should be an ultimate aim. If moral order is an order of human behavior, the aim should be a human end. And we saw that what are the possibilities of human nature? Well, that are the ends, our possibilities, the ultimate ends is happiness, is fulfillment of our potential, the things that we can do. That's why it's so important, and that is why the most important thing in the moral order is the happiness, fulfillment, ultimate end is the same more or less. And for that, we have to put some means, no? For example, if I want to have a lot of knowledge about the law, I have to go to my university and to study hard every day, because I want to be not a regular lawyer. I want to be the best one. And it means some specific means, as you can see. And that will be some goods also, no? So the books that you will read are goods, are assets also, and are good for you because obviously the fulfillment is the most important good, no? To achieve the ultimate end, knowledge, no? But how? With some means, with books, attending lectures, writing your essay. In this way, you will get not only knowledge but skills also, no? And that is quite important, no? If you, from there, you get the general principles. The principles are important, yes, but then you get from them, no? So to achieve knowledge, well, it's good to work hard. No, it's good to work hard. This is a principle, no? It's good to work hard. But first are good, no? And then understanding good, you will get the principles, no? To learn, it's good to learn. It's good to read. It's good to attend, to be on time. And in this way, you will get the moral rules, no? If it is good, I have to do that. Yes, morality have rules. Ethics have rules. But it's not the most important. It's just as a conclusion. Yes, if I want to do that, well, this is the way. This is the way. And I have to do that. That are the moral rules. And finally, morality includes virtues, no? If I have to go that way, and I try to attend lectures, and I want to not to miss anything, I have to be on time. And if I'm on time one day and another day and another day, I will create a virtue, punctuality. will be punctual, on time always, and will be easier. It will be easier. Okay. So more or less in this way, morality works. Let's put an example. This is one of my photos of, of one of my safaris here in Kenya. I am so proud of this photo. Hippopotamus. So imagine that one day we have a lot of 1 month, 1 year, we have a lot of anxieties because coronavirus problems there, our family, economical issues, and we begin to eat a lot. You know? We became little hippopotamus. We see ourselves in our mirror, in our bathroom, and we say, whoa, what a pity. You know, I have a big belly. We decide, no, you have to change. We remember also that we tried to change many times and to eat less, but it was not possible. We had a lot of anxieties, no? But that day was so different. That day we remember that we have family, children, in the example at least, no? And the doctor said that if we continue in that way, we can suffer a heart attack. We can die. Well, probably it can solve many problems, but our children will become orphans. So thinking in the others, we also know we have to stop. What kind of possibilities we have? Well, we can eat less, but we have a lot of anxiety. Let's think in another. Let's do a diet. No, let's follow a program, a plan, and I will eat today this and this and this, and well, in this way. And we begin to that. And the first day is the worst days always, no, and the second day is too, and the third. But in a week, we are more or less accustomed. No? If we continue with this plan, in a month, we will appreciate veggies. We will say, well, they were not so bad. They, at the end of the day, well, they taste more or less good. And we reduce our anxieties. And if we continue with 3 months, it will be so easy to continue with this diet because we develop a habit. That is a virtue. That is a virtue. And we will understand better a rule. A rule. It's good to eat and to drink with moderation. We will understand not just in our mind, but also in our body. You know, well, that's good. That's good. Not I insist. Not only the thing that we learn from our parents. No, you don't have to eat that much. No, we will appreciate that. That is a virtue, to appreciate good things. Virtues facilitate, make our life easier. There are a lot of these virtues. Virtues also allows us to achieve the highest happiness in our lives. That is quite interesting also, no? For example, if we know more, if we study very hard in our career, we know more, we will then become a great lawyers, and we will win more cases in our life, and we will be appreciated, and we will ask for our clients a higher cost, a higher money for our service. So we will become, well, life will be easier if you study well. And that is a virtue, a virtue of our intellect, of hard working, and many other things. So that is morality. That is morality, and that is how morality works. So one final idea about morality is that there you can find this. What is ethics? Remember now, the science of happiness. How to get the goods, and because there are two kind of goods, there are two kind of moralities. The first one is the personal good, no? Our health, our intelligence, our knowledge, and many other things. Now there are the personal good, and it's the things that we saw recently, the last hour. What kind of personal good can we achieve? Well, it depends what kind of nature we have, no? And potencies and possibilities, no? We understand now very well this part of morality. But there is another kind of good, the common good, the common good of our community. So this is a little different, but related to the personal good. That is quite important. You have to highlight this. It's related to the personal good. Why? Because what is the common good? The common good, the best notion that I found is, I found in many documents, by the way, is the set of social conditions that allow individuals to achieve their particular ends. It's so important. Try to remember that. It's a set of social conditions that allow individuals to achieve their particular ends. So, what is the aim of the state? Well, not to give milk to every citizen, not to give cell phones, and to give, I don't know, and to say some totalitarian, you should study that, you should study that, I will give university, but you cannot choose, I will choose. No, it's to give a set of social conditions, so in that way, each individual can choose. No, I prefer to go to that university and to study this career. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be, I don't know, engineer. I want to be a lawyer. And the state should respect our preferences. So, and should put some conditions. It's not the duty of the state to give everyone a car, the car that the state decides. No. No, the state should put some economical conditions to put roads, so in order that everyone can have a possibility of transportation as much as we can, and roads. Yes, roads is a social condition for transportation. That is the duty of the state, not to provide everything to everyone. No, but so it's a set of social conditions that allows individuals to achieve their particular ends. So that's why it is connected. There is no common good without personal good, because the possibilities. And that's why we have two types of morality. Personal morality, that seeks the personal good, that is called ethics, if you apply it in order systematically, scientifically, or called moral if you apply it to your life also, no? To your personal life, depending on the approach. Social morality, it seeks the common good. Social morality also received the name of social ethics, and it's also called social philosophy, and it's also called political philosophy. When Machiavelli, when Rousseau, when many Hobbes talk about the social contract and many other things, they are talking about political philosophy, no? What is good for our community? What, and politics, finally, that is also called. That is social morality, politics also. No? But what is politics? A science to achieve the common good of this society. Okay, so we know now what is ethics and what is morality. We have some idea of what is the law, but I will ask this after the break. So let's have the break now. We can meet at 10:15, okay? Perfect. So, hello you again. We can continue now with the next question. Should be very easy. It's very easy for you because you are in third year, I think so, no? So the question is so easy. What is the law? What is the law? What do you think? Anyone want to try what is the law? What is the law? Yes, Terry.
I think in like the most basic definition, the law is a system of rules which a particular country or a community recognizes, which regulates the actions of their members and enforces penalties.
Yeah, it's a set of rules. Is that okay? So what I'm trying to deal with this, but I don't know what's happening. Sorry, because okay. So that set of rules that regulates something, more or less is that, no? That produce and so on. No? Well, more or less we can say, well, so yeah, it's more or less the definition of imposed by who, that rules. Terry.
It's imposed by the judiciary usually.
Yeah. Okay. It's by the authorities, we can say, no? The authorities, and who are the authorities? The one who have the sword to kill you if you don't follow the rules. No? So any other possibility? That is a positivistic approach of the law. Remember that we say that in in what do you say? In the ethics, normally many people used to think that the rules related to morality, to ethics, are someone that is imposing to us that rules. More or less, we have in the law the same scheme. Someone is imposing us. Shame, yes.
Another aspect could be that the law comes with sanctions for people who do not follow it.
Yeah, well, that is exactly the same approach, the positivistic approach, no? Why you have to fulfill the law? Because there is an authority that will punish you. That is a positivistic approach of the law. Any other possibility? You did very well the definition of morality, but now you are having exactly the contrary approach to the law. Probably because you learned that from your many lectures. But I will try to overcome this. What you will say? What is the law? No one want to try. So many people used to say that, no? That the law is some kind of punishment, no? And if you don't do that, you should be in prison. Yes, Abigail, let's try.
I think the law can also be societal structures that have been agreed upon by a community or by a group of people.
Okay, yeah, that was the first try to overcome positivism. Exactly that argument, and what developed by Eberhard. So they realized that the law is not just the answer to the one who has the gun, the authority that can punish and kill you. And if you don't do that, I will put you on many sanctions and you will be on prison. So he said, no. The law is something more, is something approved by the society, by everyone. But once again, it is a positivistic approach. So if the society approves that Jews should die, that is the law, isn't it? The society approves that we should put in prison any innocent person because that is good for everyone. Well, why not? That is the law, what the sovereign want, what the authorities want. What is the law? It's just that it's just punishment or society's values, society's rules. Is that there no objective standard? So one of you told me that morality is related to natural law. Once again, it's the same question now that I'm asking for. Can you imagine? Try to do a little effort here. Should be a greatest one because you learn some specific things in the past. The law is a set of rules. The law is, but try to think. Anyone want to try? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's focus not in the sword, but in the balance. The balance. It's more that interesting that it's not just the sword. There is something that is more important even than this word for the law. Is the balance, no? You should see, normally you should hear all bells, no? All parties to see who has the truth. A judge to make justice, to give justice, to say what is just. In each case, you have to hear and to measure and to measure. That word is so important, to measure, to measure. To measure what? The measure reasons, goods, values, and many other things. So that's why normally the Greeks used to say that the law is principally todo dikaion, and that is so clever. Todo dikaion. Don't worry if you don't know Greek, because the Romans also said that the law is res justa, and that is so clever. Res justa. And don't worry if you don't know what is res justa, because res justa is the same of todo dikaion, and todo dikaion is the same of the equal. The law is the equal. So the equal is, this is equal to this. No, well, not more, not less, more or less. No. So is the equal, and the law is not a gentleman. It's not a gentleman. So I will explain that with one example. What happened if one day I'm driving very fast and Abigail was crossing the street. And unfortunately, I collude Abigail. A great collision, not a good one, obviously. There is a lot of suffering. Abigail suffers a lot, and finally she ends on hospital. Into the hospital, she will remain 3 months, 4 months, and finally, well, fortunately, nothing more happened, but he never was able to hear lectures again, to attend lectures again. And she had to pay many bills, hospital bills, and also medicine, and also the university, but she never approved jurisprudence because she was in the hospital. So my question here, I have to pay something to Abigail, yes or no, and how much? What do you think? I have to pay. Are you there, Abigail?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Do you think that I have to pay to you something, or you, no, my professor is so good, I will not ask for anything?
No, I think you do. I think you would have to pay me damages for the inconveniences.
How much? How much?
I think, isn't that what's called the court's discretion? Isn't that what the power of the court's discretion is for them to decide how much it should be?
So
Yeah.
try to put a price. I mean, what kind of thing you should consider?
You should consider, one, the medical expenses that I will have to incur because of you. Two, the inconvenience of me missing my jurisprudence classes, which eventually will be detrimental to my final semester, possibly even my graduation. Yeah.
Okay. And medicine, and if you were working, the money that you didn't gain, okay, more or less, and probably if there is any other thing that you lose, well, I have to pay that. But I don't have to pay you. I don't have to pay you. I don't know, a subscription to Netflix for 1 year. I don't have to pay you a car because you were walking. I don't have to pay you, well, many other things. Just that, the thing that you told me, no more, no less. Okay, it's an equal. It's a formula, and it's an equality. No more, no less. That is equal to that. One philosopher used to say that the law is not a gentleman. Why? And because in the UK there is a phrase that says, what is a gentleman? A gentleman is that guy that puts in the common lot a little more than he takes. What it means? What it means? Yeah. If I buy a newspaper that could be $1, for example, but I am a gentleman, so I'm a gentleman, and I don't will give that guy just $1. I will give $2, a tip for $1 extra. That is a gentleman. I am a gentleman because I put a little more. But the law is not a gentleman. The law is the equal, exactly the equal that you have to pay. No more, no less, no less. Because if not, there will be no law. No more, no less. That's why the principal understanding of the law is the equal, to dikayon, at least for me. So the right also, the law can be considered as a relation of of the things that are discussing the parties, but related to an equality, and that is rational. That is not, you can consider, no, what happens if there is no written, no case law? I have to pay to Abigail the same? Yes, because that is not because an authority said that you should pay Abigail because you are a very evil professor, that you are harming your students. No, it's because that is rational, that equality. So here you find in Greek, to dikaion. This was just one, without the article, no, dikaion. Dikaion is the equal, is the adjusted, no, adjusted thing, no. I adjust the thing that each part wants, to the equal, no more, no less. Yeah, that is important to see, that there is some rational approach to the law, not just the will of the sovereign, not just the value of society. Society's principle. No, it's something more, it's something rational. Okay, obviously there are many other considerations, no? What is a right, what you have also consideration, a claim right, no, to ask for, but to ask for, not, you can see that it's not to ask to everything that the sovereign or the authority say that is my right. No, because they can say also that it's my right to kill Jews, to kill indigenous people. That was the law in the United States at the very beginning. You can kill all the indigenous people because this is your land, America. Yeah, and that was the law. That they consider that is my right. No, but probably that is not just because, well, you know very well the theory. Every person has dignity, and we should respect life and many other rights and so on. So it's a power to claim, but not to claim whatever the authorities or society say that you can claim. To claim what is the equal, what is adjusted or just. Okay? Okay, perfect. And finally, there is also another possibility that normally today we say the law, the objective law, the ethical is a set of norms. But once again, it's not any law approved by the society. It's not Nazi regime. It's a set of norms that measures or related to the just, that put what is just in so far as it is a measure of justice. Justice is related to justice. Justice is because that is adjusted. Okay, there is a adjustment. Finally, one last idea that is so important. As you can see, there are many approaches to the law, to rights. Well, yes, Michael.
Could you please explain the first one again?
The first one.
Yeah, the one.
To the Cayon. So the most important notion of what is the law, what is right, is not the thing that we have now in our language. And many other languages have more notions. English is not that much. So, and the first notion is of use in the Roman Empire of to dikaion, in the Greeks, is the equal. So the law is the equal. What you of what is your right the equal. In the case of the collusion, of the example, I have to pay exactly the same or that Abigail lost. Okay, exactly the same or didn't gain. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
okay, thank you.
no more, no less. It's an equality, a balance. That's why you paint justice with a balance. Okay, perfect. So there is a typical phrase that everyone used to repeat in the first lessons of the law, that there is no possible law in Robinson Crusoe's island. When Robinson Crusoe was alone, without any other person, individual in that island, there was no law, because you need society. I will say not society, but at least another person. Friday, I think that was the name of the second guy that arrived to that island. So when another individual arrived, he baptized, and he gave the name of Friday to the second individual that arrived to that island. When Friday arrived, he can ask for respect, for some kind of privacy, so to protect his life. You cannot kill me. You have to protect my privacy. You have to do that. And then it's possible, some rights, some duties, some legal rights, I mean, and some legal duties, not moral ones. Because the law is more objective, something reasonable, related to reason. So this is the conclusion. The law and any kind of rights and any kind of legal duties only exist on the legal relationship. Only exist here. What is the legal relationship? It's so important. It's so important this, no? The legal relationship is a relationship between two or more individuals in which one is the owner or the one that is entitled for something, and the other is the debtor, the one who should pay some good in relation with some good. The debtor should pay that good to the owner. Okay, that is a legal relationship, and the law only exists here in reality. Obviously, theoretically, you can put say no, that Robinson Crusoe had all human rights. Yes, but who will pay that? Nobody. Who will respect his human rights? Nobody. So at the end of the day, from a realistic point of view, the law just exists in the legal relationship. Okay, and if we go deeper, we will see that there is a legal bond between them, and this legal bond supports many things. The claim right, the positive title. The legal bond is, for example, the bond that you have with your parents. That is because nature, you understand that if you are a mother or a father of some child, so you know that you are the cause, and so you should give food, education, support, and many other things. So many duties, many claims are based in just one legal bond. Okay. Okay, and then we have the environment. The environment you can find there, obviously, where are you living, your environment, physical environment, but also the legal system, because you see, I'm a father of this child, but the laws in Kenya are different than in other countries. So what kind of things I have to do with my children? Well, the things that I understand, first, reason, and then some specifications provided by the laws of Kenya. Okay, more or less, more or less. You will read everything in the code. It's quite interesting because you have everything. Now, let's talk about the legal system. What is the legal system? I will say the legal system is also an order. In many languages, this ordenamiento jurídico, ordinamiento juridice, or many other. Well, as a legal order, there is an order of what? Of human activities, of human actions, as well as to take photos, what kind of behavior we have. We can walk, we can smoke, we can play sports, sleep, and so on. But if this is an order, remember, if any order should have one aim. Remember, this is without aim, there is no order. There should be one aim to each order. But okay, so if there is a legal system, a legal order, there should be one aim and one ultimate aim. And if this is a human order, okay, there should be one human ultimate end. So the question is very easy now. Now it's very easy now. How many ultimate ends can the human nature have? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? How many ultimate ends human nature can have? Adi, what do you think?
Think one.
Perfect. Very good. Just one, because the human nature is just one. There is an order in the potencies and our possibilities, and the highest one is the highest one. There are no two highest one. Yeah, exactly, one. So it will be the same. Can you see of morality? The legal order has the same ultimate end of morality. Well, so let's go. We're talking about now the legal system. Also, we are talking about for achieve that aim, we put some means. What kind of means? More or less the same. The things that are good for achieve that aim, that are the means. And the end itself is a good, is a human good, the principal good, no? The main good of our nature. And then, once again, let's see, we can find some general principles. Yeah, is good, for example, not to kill, because if we kill each other, nobody will achieve the ultimate aims. Okay, so, and finally, there could be one more specific principles. For example, pacta sunt servanda. Do you know what is pacta sunt servanda? Perhaps no, just to know, just to verify. Pacta sunt servanda. Any one of you know what the phrase means? Is in Latin? No? Yes. Normally people begin to know when I offer points. No, I know. If I give 1 mark, for sure, many people know what is pacta sunt servanda. The agreement should be fulfilled, is the meaning in English. Any agreement should be fulfilled. Yeah, that is a more specific principle. It's not the general principle, good should be done and evil avoided. That is a general, very general. But when you say what, when you put what things could be good, no? to fulfill the things that we said that we will do, agreements, to fulfill, to obey, to pay. If I say that I will pay, is good. So you should do that. That is the meaning of pacta sunt servanda. It's more specific. Here we are talking about any kind of good. Here we are talking legal goods. Yeah, to fulfill an agreement. So more specific thing, principle we have, no? Positive laws are based on that principles we have here. We are talking about the legal orders. As morality and ethics have moral rules in the legal order, we have also positive laws, a set of laws. But try to see that and try to discover that it's not the most important thing. The acts, constitution, treaties, regulation, the statutory law is not the most important thing. The set of rules, once again, is not the most important thing in the legal system. What is the most important thing? Well, that this is for something. All the legal system is for something to achieve the ultimate goal. Obviously, it will not achieve directly the personal aims, but principally the common good. We will see a little more now. So after giving these two definitions, well, many, ethics, morality, the law, and the legal system, the final question should be clear, or at least a little more. The final question, what should be the relation between morality and the law? Are they the same? Aren't they? Another possibility, is morality part of the law? Some authors used to say that. No, morality is part of the law. So because why? What is moral? The thing that the law say. Others say, no, it's exactly the contrary. It's exactly the contrary. The law is part of morality. The law, morality is very big, and one part of morality is the law. Or others say, no, there are two different things not connected at all. And others say, no, are two different things. It is obvious, no, but there is a slight point of connection. So the law should have one little part of morality and the other is not related. So I don't know, what do you think about? What kind of relation can have morality and the law? Or if there is no relationship between them? Yes.
It comes when we talk about the ends of both, because we said that the end of morality is good and the end of the law is good as well. So I think that's the relation between the two.
It's the only relation between them, and then are quite different things.
I think after that, I will agree with the statement where you said that the law is part of morality. That like you can derive the law from morality, from moral principles and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the law is part of, but I don't know. I think that you are in the third year, no? Aren't you? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you heard about virtues?
Heard of who?
About virtues. Remember, what kind of things morality used to check? Well, to develop virtues, how to develop habits, moral rules, and have you heard about that in constitutional law? I don't know, in taxation. How many virtues do you this kind of thing, do you used to read in the books of law, in the legal books, or not?
If you're talking about virtues and habits, we learned that in social and political foundations of law.
Yeah, but it's normally, yeah, perfect. Probably in politics, yes, because politics is morality, it's social morality. But in the law, taxation law, constitutional law, international law, religious law, probably, and this is a little strange. We don't used to talk about these kind of things. The argumentation on morality used to be slightly different. Always there are good points of connection, but the arguments on morality are a little different. In politics, it's more related, but politics is social morality because it's related to the common good. It's not the law. You have to distinguish that. Politics is not the law. You need very different skills to develop a policy and to be a good politician and to do politics. Any other idea? Are they connected? Are they absolutely different? Okay. Yeah, but this is good, very good. Try to understand and to see that there could be a problem to discover, or if we are right, or whatever you want. Yeah. So I will continue with the analysis, showing you this. So there is some relation between them. Obviously, for the antique people, yes, there was a lot of relation. One of the famous novels of the past was this one, no? Antigone. What happened with Antigone? That is quite interesting. Antigone was a novel before Christ, in which there was a war between two great kings, between two brothers, no? Eteocles and Polynices. Well, in depth, a civil war, and one of them won. So in Creon, the new ruler of Thebes, well, decide, well, I will be the king, but I will decide not to give the possibility of bury the body of the one who lost the war, and he will be buried on the battlefield. So he said, well, let's the body lies there for till the birds eat the body. But there was a woman that said, I cannot do that because our gods ask for the burial, and I cannot go against the will of the gods and to fulfill the will of a new king of this city called Thebes. So at night she went and was discovered by the guards of the new king, and they took them and they asked, why you disobeyed the law of the king? And she said, no, because it's more important to follow the laws of the gods than your law. So they decided, well, more or less, all the laws are together. So let's mute someone. Okay. And that was quite interesting, because as you can see, for that mentality, it was so clear that the law is connected. The law is connected with morality, with religious law, and with politics. And you can see that in the antique mentality, the cosmovision of the antique people, they put together everything, morality, religion, the law. There is everything is the same for that mentality. Now we differentiate so many things. And I will try to give at least my opinion. There is a lot of discussion in this field. So I know that mine is just an opinion. But let's see once again the moral order. We see the ultimate end, and we said if the human nature is just one, the human being will have just one ultimate end, and we put here morality and here the legal system, we will see that the ultimate end should be the same. And also the things that are good for the human being are the same, no? Because we have the same possibilities for the law or for ethics, no? For the law or for the ethics, so it should be the same. In any case, we in the law consider the same goods are the same goods, but from a different point of view. Many times we consider them as an asset, no? Assets of the as a goods, but goods in the legal relationship for one specific purpose, to pay. The debtor should pay the one who has the right, who is entitled to ask for that good. Remember, the law, the right only exists in the legal relationship. So we see the same goods should be the same goods, but from a slightly different approach, from the approach of assets. Then general principles probably could be the same, but moral rules and virtues and positive laws, specific principles, pacta sunt servanda, probably are related, but not are the same. Okay, so let's go deeper. Virtues. One virtue, there are a lot of virtues, no? Punctuality, how to play football well. I love football. I used to play. I don't know if I play well. It's a virtue to play well, because we need some flexibility to be focused and so many things. One of the virtues is the virtues of justitia. Justitia is Latin, no? Justice. What is justice? Well, time ago, one Roman, a very clever one, Ulpian, said at the beginning, that is at the beginning of the famous book of Rome, that justitia est constans et perpetua voluntas jus, sum quisque triuendum. This is the first phrase of the digest, of the compilation of the laws. What is that? Don't worry, because in English is this: justice is the constant and perpetual desire to give to everyone that it's to which he is entitled. That to which that he is entitled. That to which that he is entitled. So use is that. Justitia, justice, is a virtue that's why is constant and perpetual desire to give each one, each right, to pay the right. What is your right? I will pay that, which he is entitled. So as you can see, there is no possible moral behavior if you are not just, and there is no possible justice if there is no law. That is interesting. It means moral behavior should fulfill every real law, every real justice should pay everyone what each one is entitled. And on the other hand, what is the positive law? The positive law is a certain measure of use of the equal, a certain measure of the right, a certain measure of that order, no? Of the equal. Remember, the equal is something rational. It's not just the will of the authority. It's not just, it's not only the will of society or the imagination of someone. No, it's rational. It's rational. It's an equality. So, and one of the most famous definitions, this one of Aquinas, the law is an ordinance of reason. It's reasonable for the common good made by him who has care of the community and promulgate. So it is quite important to remember that notion. For sure you will have, because you should see that notion in many other subjects. But these laws are not for any kind of good, for one specific good, the common good here. Is a mean to achieve something, to achieve the conditions of social conditions that allows individuals to achieve their own aims. That is the definition of common good. So all those should point to politics, no? And to achieve common good. So now remember that there were two kinds of morality. The morality, the personal morality and the social morality. What should be the law more connected to, more related to personal morality or to social morality? What do you think? The strongest relation with the law. There are two possibilities, personal morality or social morality. Which should be the strongest one? Yes.
Social morality.
Perfect, I agree. Perfect. Social morality, because it's related to the common good. And the definition of positive law is that a rational percept for achieve the common good. Perfect, yeah. And that's why people that study politics many times is so related to the law. Not those who study virtues. Yeah, it's related also, because the common good try to achieve the social conditions to human flourishment, but it's not that connected. Okay. And remember here, no, that is also the law is a set of rules, but it's also rational. This is connected, obviously, no? And the virtue of justice is more related, is justice to give each one what is fair or just. Clear and bright. So, I will conclude with our hippopotamus. What is the law? Well, obviously, and what is morality? We know it now very well. And what kind of relations could be between them? First, I think that are different, quite different, no? The law, ethics and morality, we gave quite different notions. But at the same time, they are related. You can find many links between them, but I think that the three principal ones are this one. First, both morality, ethics, the law, the legal system, rights, and so on. These two groups of things both have the same ultimate ends even, not the ultimate, but those that are close to the ultimate end. The same ultimate goods, the same ultimate principles or general principles. Instead of that, it's not the same with the immediate end. The immediate end of the law is to pay each right, but each one is entitled for. Okay, this is quite different, and this is not a moral analysis. What is entitled for? This is a legal analysis. It's not a moral analysis. And morality will analyze how to achieve virtues. Well, that is not a legal analysis, it's a moral analysis. The immediate end, the immediate goods, and the immediate principles, each science should have their own. Okay, I will say that. Second, no positive law can be against common good. No positive law can be against the common. Why? Because the notion of law is a rational process to achieve the common good. And if no positive law can be against the common good, cannot be against justice, cannot be against morality. So the law cannot be against morality. This is the second relationship. The law cannot be against morality because morality includes virtue. The law is for the common good. The law is the. And finally, no moral behavior can be against a valid just law. If you have to what is a moral behavior? A behavior that follow every virtue, every moral rule, every virtue also. So one of the virtues is justice. And you should be a just person, a fair person. So a fair behavior means that you should fulfill every law, obviously, every just law. If the law is against the common good, properly is not a law. It's against the deepest notion of the law. Okay? I don't know if you have any question about these principles, because that was the last part of this lecture. Well, with this we can finish. Any question about these things? I think you should think about with the article, and then go ahead with your quiz this week. Or it was nice to meet you, at least your names in your screen. Next week we will meet in person. See you next week. So bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.